Heather Roberts, and this is a presentation on social power and the alpha dog concept. To better understand social power, power is defined as influence potential and the resources that enables leaders to gain compliance and commitment from others. And that's according to Hersey et al. What is social power? Social power is in the workplace defined as how leaders engage with their subordinates or followers to gain results. Sources of power could be coercive, reward, legitimate, personal, which contains reverent and expert power, and informational. Reverent power through a leader's perspective, their traits would be their confidence, their trust, their rapport. Those are really big things to get followers to follow a leader's footsteps. Expert leaders require expertise, skills, and knowledge, and that is what they use to motivate their followers. Bases of power establish how much control of the subordinates are given. The sources of power can be divided into two categories. Harsh power, coercion, reward, legitimate, has 4 different categories. And soft power, expert, reverent, and informational. People would love to come from the soft power, but it really depends on the organization's makeup and how they are as a structure. The types of social power explained. I like this quote that I found from Hersey et al. Power is the matter of perception. Use it or lose it. Coercive power, the leader has the authority to punish the subordinates. And why is this important? Because a lot of leaders who do have this power to punish also have to be able to follow through with that punishment. So the consequences for the behavior, sanctions, cut and pay, clear through to dismissal. It's a really important power that if you don't follow through, then you will lose the power with your subordinates because they won't believe that you will actually do what you say you're supposed to do. Reward power, from a leader perspective, is the positive behavior, you get a reward. Bad behavior, you don't get the reward. So they can take things away, they can give you things, which is great for especially if you're a new employee and you get that great bonus, you get these raises, promotions, but then after time, if the bonuses and pay, all that stuff dries up, what's left to motivate you? So were you doing it because you enjoy doing it, or were you doing it just because of the reward? So that's a tough spot to be in as an organization. Personal, as I just previously mentioned, with expert and reverent. Now, there are informal leadership folks that within the organization who might not be in actual management positions but have informal power, or informal leaders that do have expert and reverent power. So that is through their knowledge and expertise, seasoned staff, or if they've got really great personality and charisma and can get people to follow and take on things with them. Those are people that you really want to latch onto in an organization, because if they have that network, that is great for getting people on board, especially if you're doing a lot of change theory stuff. Informational, if a leader has perceived access to information or possession of useful information, that is a really great place to be too, because there's certain followers that are really enticed by the power of information. If I have this information, then I can make better decisions, or I can move forward with areas of need. So informational power can be really a strong motivator for different types of followers. Legitimate, they follow the person because they are in that legitimate power position. Manager, director, senior manager. And people respect the position. There's folks that don't respect the position and they could really care less. And then you've got the possible high readiness delegator, people who are on their own. They really are not impressed by the title, but it's the knowledge and the skills that they bring to the table. That's what really gets them. It's not the title, it's what the person has to bring to the table. Power in the work setting. So, this is an analysis of the dominant social power in my work setting. And now I'm at a university. We've got roughly 5,000 employees, and we we have different types of leadership teams. We have a participative leadership. We also have a autocratic leadership style from the different faculty teams from different courses, and mentoring. So it really depends on the manager and the team dynamic. That diversity on the team will determine whether it's going to be coming from more of a participative, I'll have to hold your hand, let's committee it, let's work these things through as a team, or is it more autocratic, like, hey, this is what we need to do, I'm telling you what to do, get it done, very task oriented. And a lot of the autocratic leaders, they might retain most of the authority, but their teams tend to be very well-oiled machines where I can just tell you what to do, I can delegate it out, and I know that you're going to get it done. Where the other ones, it's like committee, we all talk about it, but we really don't ever like execute. So that's at the faculty level. But then when it comes from the coercive, top-down, authoritarian um, approach that we seem to have right now, it's definitely I tell you, you will, I command. Key phrases that we are now hearing on a pretty regular basis. So we usually are now moving from a position of authoritarian leadership top down. Rarely does things go back up, but it's definitely top down. Alpha dog concept, what does it mean? So, Alpha Dog is a leader with a position of power whose behaviors create energy that drive real economic growth. Now, our president, when he came on board, we really thought he was this prestige oriented leader who gives talented people more responsibility because of his authentic, positive vibe and energy that he brought to the university. We thought it was going to be this incredible fit after we had our president for, I want to say, 15 years, and he was wonderful. We were a very flat organization, moving through definitely more of an academic model. And when we got this new president, he came from Amazon and he was a general manager, and he comes from an MBA business mind. So he immediately, within the first 2 years of operating the entire university, he layered in at least 5 layers from him down to the faculty. And because of that, we have moved away from this very authentic, prestige-oriented leadership style to more of a dominance-oriented leaders. So now that we have all these vice presidents that we didn't have before, we have all these directors and senior managers, different threads, new threads. There is now a infighting or chaos that is really changing the culture and the direction of the university. So you have two different cultures colliding here, and that's where we have the different alpha dogs. So we have the dominance, the intimidation, hoarding of information that is such a true fact, and authoritarian top down. Everything is top down. So it's been interesting to see this alpha dog come to life because hadn't seen it before, but now we have, and so we're just playing it out and see how the cards fall. So these are my references that I used for this presentation. Fantastic resources. Please check them out. And I want to conclude with social power has many layers and interpretations. It also depends on your fit in the organization, the type of leadership, is it situational, which is a really important leadership style that allows the flexibility to address the many types of power as it relates to your teams and their readiness of the followers. So I hope you have a wonderful day. Thank you for your time.